Welcome to my channel, Rare Coins Numix. In this video, we'll explore the rarest Kennedy half-dollar coins, pieces of history that are not only valuable but also fascinating due to their unique minting errors and low production numbers. Watch till the end to find out how much these extraordinary coins are worth today. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is a fascinating piece of American history. To truly appreciate its significance, we need to explore its origin, design, and the impact it has had on collectors and investors alike. This coin isn't just another piece of currency, it's a symbol of an era, an embodiment of remembrance, and a gateway into the world of numismatics. Let's take a journey back in time to the early 1960s. President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination on November 22, 1963, shook the nation to its core. In the wake of his death, there was a widespread desire to honor his memory in a tangible way. That's when the U.S. Treasury decided to create a new coin, the Kennedy half-dollar. It was intended to replace the Franklin half-dollar, which had been in circulation since 1948. The decision to feature Kennedy on the half-dollar was both an act of national mourning and a nod to his leadership during pivotal moments in American history, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, the space race, and the Civil Rights Movement. The design of the coin was the work of Gilroy Roberts, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. His portrayal of Kennedy's profile was chosen because it was both respectful and iconic. The reverse of the coin, designed by Frank Gasparo, featured the presidential seal, symbolizing Kennedy's legacy as a leader who had shaped the course of American history. The seal also represented the continuity of the nation's values, unity, liberty, and justice. However, by 1973, things had begun to change for the Kennedy half-dollar. The mint had shifted its focus from producing coins for regular circulation to creating coins primarily for collectors. This was due to a decline in demand for half-dollars in day-to-day transactions. Most people preferred using smaller denominations like quarters and dimes. As a result, the mint stopped producing Kennedy half-dollars for regular circulation in 1970 and shifted to minting them exclusively for proof sets and other special collections. This change made the 1973 coin more significant as it was part of a transition in American coinage, minted in both the Denver and San Francisco facilities. The 1973 Kennedy half-dollar was part of a new era where coin collectors would play a more prominent role. The production numbers for these coins were quite large, but the fact that they were primarily made for collectors meant that they were kept in better condition than coins that circulated widely in the past. Many of these coins remained in pristine condition for years, making them desirable for collectors seeking coins in excellent quality. A key factor that drives the value of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is its condition. While the design of the coin has remained mostly unchanged since its introduction, the coins vary greatly in their level of preservation. Coins that are in uncirculated condition, meaning they have never been used in transactions and show no signs of wear, can fetch impressive premiums. For collectors, a coin's grade is critical, as a higher grade translates to a more valuable piece. Another fascinating aspect of the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar is the presence of proof coins. These are coins that are specially made for collectors and have a distinctively mirrored finish, which sets them apart from the standard circulation coins. Proof coins are carefully struck multiple times to ensure sharp details and a high-quality finish. Within the proof coin category, some may have what is known as a cameo or deep cameo finish. This feature creates a sharp contrast between the frosted design and the mirror-like background, adding to the coin's aesthetic appeal and, of course, its value. Coins with these finishes are often considered rare and are highly coveted by collectors. As the years went by, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar continued to gain attention from numismatists. The fact that fewer of these coins were released into circulation has contributed to their desirability. Coins that show slight imperfections or errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, are often the most sought after. These errors, while rare, add an element of intrigue and excitement for collectors, who will pay a premium to acquire a coin that stands out from the rest. In recent decades, the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar has become not only a collector's item but also an investment opportunity. As interest in coin collecting continues to grow, so does the demand for high-quality pieces like the 1973 Kennedy half-dollar. Investors are drawn to these coins not only for their historical significance but also for their potential to appreciate in value over time. In fact, the value of certain 1973 Kennedy half dollars has risen dramatically, particularly for those in perfect or near-perfect condition. Now, let's get to the big reveal. As of today, the 1973 Kennedy half dollar can be worth an impressive sum, up to $137,000 for a coin in exceptional condition, such as a perfect proof with the deep cameo finish. This value is not just a reflection of the coin's rarity but also of the emotional connection it carries as a tribute to one of the most beloved American presidents. For collectors and investors alike, owning a 1973 Kennedy half dollar isn't just about possessing a piece of currency, it's about owning a piece of history that continues to grow in significance and value. The rise in value of the 1973 Kennedy half dollar can also be attributed to the broader appreciation of American numismatic history. Coins from specific periods, particularly those that are linked to major historical events or figures, often become more valuable over time as people seek to preserve and invest in these artifacts. The Kennedy half dollar, with its iconic design and powerful symbolism, is no exception. Collectors continue to seek out high-quality examples of the 1973 coin, whether they are looking for a piece to complete their collection or hoping to invest in something that will appreciate over the years. The combination of historical value, aesthetic appeal, and rarity has made this coin a prized possession for many. Up next, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar is one of the most notable and cherished coins in the history of U.S. numismatics. It stands as a symbol of both historical reflection and national pride, crafted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the United States. This coin is a tangible representation of America's deep connection to its past while also embracing its future. It's a coin that captured the spirit of a nation looking back on its revolutionary origins and forward to a future filled with hope and progress. The story behind the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar begins in the early 1970s, when the United States was preparing to celebrate its bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. A nationwide celebration was planned to mark this monumental occasion, and the U.S. Mint was tasked with creating special coins to help commemorate the event. Among these was the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar, a coin that would feature designs specifically created to honor both the historical significance of 1776 and the American spirit of independence. In the mid-1970s, the U.S. Mint announced the release of special commemorative coins, including the bicentennial half dollar, the bicentennial quarter, and the bicentennial dollar. These coins were not only designed to celebrate the past but to also highlight America's ongoing journey toward the future. The 1776 to 1976 half dollar, in particular, became a favorite among collectors and the general public, largely due to its striking design and the historical moment it represented. The reverse design of the bicentennial half dollar is one of its most distinctive features. The coin depicts the Liberty Bell, a symbol of freedom and independence, superimposed on the moon. This pairing was an intentional design choice, meant to symbolize both America's revolutionary beginnings and its bold achievements in space exploration. In 1976, the United States had recently achieved significant milestones in the space race, and the moon landing was still fresh in the public's mind. The design captured a nation looking to the stars while honoring the ideals that it was founded upon. The obverse of the coin remained a familiar and lasting image, the profile of President John F. Kennedy. This design had been in use since 1964, shortly after Kennedy's tragic assassination, and it continued to be a defining image of the Kennedy half dollar. The choice to retain the Kennedy portrait for the bicentennial edition was a nod to the continuing influence of Kennedy's legacy and his vision for the future of the United States. The coin was minted in large quantities, with production taking place at the U.S. Mint's facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, which was standard for coins of that era. While the coin didn't contain silver like its predecessors, its historical significance and unique design made it a popular choice for collectors. The Mint intended for these coins to be primarily commemorative, and they were sold in sets rather than for regular circulation, further increasing their appeal to collectors. In addition to the regular strikes, special proof coins were produced, primarily at the San Francisco Mint. These coins had a mirror-like finish, which made them stand out from the standard circulation coins. Proof versions of the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar, especially those with a deep cameo finish, became highly sought after by collectors due to their exquisite appearance and the care taken in their production, while many of the coins were made available for the general public. The fact that they were part of a commemorative series and that many were stored in excellent condition meant that they became rare over time. With millions of these coins produced, it may seem like they would be common, but the condition in which they were kept has played a significant role in their rarity today. Over time, those that were well preserved, especially those in proof or uncirculated condition, have become valuable pieces in the numismatic world. The value of the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar has increased over the years, especially for coins that are in pristine condition. While coins that were released for general circulation are typically worth only a small premium over their face value, proof versions and coins that have been graded as high quality can fetch a substantial price. The highest quality coins, particularly those with deep cameo contrasts and exceptional preservation, have seen their value rise significantly in recent decades. In the current market, a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half dollar in top-tier condition can be worth as much as $133,000. This price is typically seen in coins that are in perfect or near-perfect condition, with those that have unique characteristics or errors in the minting process fetching even higher prices. The combination of the coin's historical significance, unique design, and scarcity in high-grade condition has made it a sought-after item for both collectors and investors alike. The coin's popularity among collectors is largely due to its connection to a monumental moment in American history. The bicentennial half dollar isn't just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of 2 centuries of American achievement. It connects the nation's founding in 1776 to its accomplishments in 1976 and beyond. It's a coin that embodies both the ideals of liberty and freedom that the United States was founded upon, and the technological and cultural achievements that define the country today. Next, let's explore another rare and sought-after coin, the 1979 USA Kennedy half dollar. This coin holds a unique place in the world of U.S. numismatics, not just for its design or its connection to the legacy of President John F. Kennedy, but also for its historical context and the story behind its creation. The 1979 Kennedy half dollar was minted during a period of transition in American coinage, and it represents a key moment in the evolution of the country's currency. In the years following President Kennedy's assassination, the U.S. Mint introduced the Kennedy half dollar in 1964 as a tribute to the late president. It was an immediate success, and the coin quickly became a symbol of his enduring legacy. For years, the coin was minted in a high percentage of silver, reflecting the precious metal's significance in American coinage. However, as the 1970s approached, economic conditions and rising silver prices led to a major shift in U.S. coinage, and by the end of the decade, the mint began reducing the silver content in many coins, including the Kennedy half dollar. The 1979 Kennedy half dollar is significant because it marks the year when the coin was produced entirely in copper-nickel, with no silver content. By this point, the U.S. Mint had fully transitioned to using base metals for most circulating coins, and the 1979 Kennedy half dollar was no exception. While this change might have led some collectors to overlook the coin initially, it has since gained value due to its historical context, its connection to the Kennedy legacy, and its place in the broader story of U.S. coinage. The design of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar, like its predecessors, features a portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse. The artist Gilroy Roberts' rendition of Kennedy is one of the most iconic and recognizable images of the late president. On the reverse, the coin features the presidential seal, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. This design, which had been in place since the coin's introduction in 1964, remained unchanged in 1979, maintaining the connection to the nation's leadership and symbolizing the continuity of the American presidency. Despite the absence of silver, the 1979 Kennedy half dollar continued to be a key part of U.S. currency. It was minted in large quantities, and like earlier versions of the coin, it was intended for use in everyday transactions. However, the coin also attracted attention from collectors who recognized its significance as a continuation of the Kennedy half dollar series and as a historical piece marking the end of an era in U.S. coinage. What makes the 1979 Kennedy half dollar especially interesting to collectors today is the rarity and condition of the coins that were preserved from circulation. While the coin was minted in large quantities, many examples have survived in excellent condition due to the fact that it was primarily used in regular circulation and not often hoarded by collectors at the time. As time has passed, however, those examples that were well preserved have become more valuable, and coins in pristine condition have gained the attention of collectors and investors alike. The 1979 Kennedy half dollar was struck in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. As with most U.S. coins, the mint mark indicates where the coin was produced, and coins from each mint facility have different levels of rarity and appeal to collectors. While the coins from all 3 mints were produced in large quantities, it is the proof versions from the San Francisco Mint that have proven to be the most valuable and sought after in today's market. These proof coins were struck with special dies and given a higher level of craftsmanship, resulting in a sharp, mirror-like finish that is much more desirable to collectors. As with many commemorative and regular circulation coins, the value of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar is influenced by several factors, including its condition, the type of coin, circulation strike or proof, and its rarity. In general, coins that were minted for circulation are worth only slightly more than their face value, particularly if they show signs of wear or are not in excellent condition. However, coins that were produced as part of special proof sets or that are in mint state can be worth considerably more. As a result, well-preserved examples of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar have become increasingly valuable over time. Coins in high-grade condition, particularly those graded as MS 67 or higher, can command impressive prices on the market. Furthermore, proof coins in perfect condition, especially those with a deep cameo finish, can be worth significantly more than their face value. The most valuable versions of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar are those that are in perfect or near perfect condition and that have been well preserved since their release. The current market value for the 1979 Kennedy half dollar, especially for proof coins in exceptional condition, can reach as much as $129,000. This value reflects not only the coin's historical importance but also the rarity of finding a pristine example of this coin. As more time passes and fewer high-quality specimens remain, the value of the 1979 Kennedy half dollar is expected to continue to rise, making it a highly coveted piece for collectors and investors alike. So, why does the 1979 Kennedy half dollar command such high prices today? It's a combination of factors: its historical context, its connection to the enduring legacy of President Kennedy, the rarity of high-quality examples, and the coin's status as part of the broader transition in U.S. coinage during the late 20th century. The 1979 coin is a bridge between the silver era of U.S. coins and the modern era of base metal coinage, and as a result, it holds a unique place in the hearts of collectors. The 1882 D half dollar coin is a remarkable item in the world of American numismatics, standing out due to its rarity, historical context, and the role it plays in the evolution of U.S. coinage. Struck at the Denver Mint in 1882, this coin provides a glimpse into a specific period in the country's history, one marked by economic challenges, shifts in minting practices, and changes in the design of American currency. In the late 1800s, the United States was in the midst of industrial growth and economic expansion. The country was experiencing rapid growth, both in terms of population and territory, and coinage was in high demand to support the expanding economy. The government, having recently gone through a currency crisis in the 1870s, was seeking to stabilize the monetary system, which had led to significant changes in U.S. coinage production. During this time, the government was also in the process of transitioning from older coin designs to new ones, symbolizing the country's growth and progress. The 1882 D half dollar was struck as part of the Liberty Seated series, which had been in circulation since the 1830s. The Liberty Seated design, created by engraver Christian Gobrecht, featured the image of Lady Liberty sitting on a rock, holding a shield in one hand and an olive branch in the other. This design was widely used in various denominations and was seen as a representation of strength, freedom, and peace. On the reverse side of the coin, the design featured a wreath of corn and other agricultural symbols, surrounding the words United States of America, and the coin's denomination. By the time the 1882 D half dollar was struck, the Liberty Seated design was beginning to fade from circulation. With the introduction of the Barber coinage series in 1892, the Liberty Seated design would soon be replaced. As a result, the 1882 D half dollar stands as one of the final representations of this enduring design. This makes the coin particularly valuable to collectors who appreciate its place in the overall timeline of U.S. coinage. The Denver Mint, which produced the 1882 D half dollar, had only recently been established. Though the mint had been operating for several years by 1882, it was still relatively new compared to the older mints in Philadelphia and San Francisco. As a result, the Denver Mint was tasked with producing coins to meet the growing demand for currency. While the Denver Mint's reputation was still being established, the coins it struck, including the 1882 D half-dollar, became an important part of the national coinage system. One of the reasons the 1882 D half-dollar is so sought after by collectors today is its rarity. Although the U.S. Mint was producing a substantial number of coins during this time, only a limited number of the 1882 D half-dollars were struck. In fact, the production figures for the 1882 D half-dollar are lower than those for many other coins produced in the same period, making it a relatively rare coin. As time passed, many of these coins were circulated and eventually worn down, further diminishing the number of high-quality examples that would survive. The 1882 D half-dollar was made of 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard composition for U.S. coins during this period. The coin weighed 12.5 grams and had a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, making it similar in size and weight to other coins in the series. Despite its relatively modest composition, the 1882 D half-dollar has continued to captivate collectors due to its rarity and its historical significance. As with many vintage coins, the condition of the 1882 D half-dollar plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that were well preserved and protected from wear and tear have become more desirable over time. Unfortunately, many of the 1882 D half-dollars that were in circulation became damaged or worn down, leaving only a small percentage of coins in excellent condition. For collectors looking for coins in mint condition, finding an 1882 D half-dollar that has been preserved in pristine condition is a rare and valuable opportunity. Among the most prized examples of the 1882 D half-dollar are those that have been graded by professional numismatic organizations, which assess the coin's condition on a scale from 1 to 70. Coins graded in the higher range, particularly those graded MS 64 and higher, are considered to be in near-perfect condition and are extremely valuable. Coins in this condition can command impressive prices in the marketplace, as they represent the highest quality examples available to collectors. The 1882 D half-dollar is also valuable because of its place in the Liberty-seated series. Collectors of U.S. coins are often drawn to the Liberty-seated designs because of their historical significance. These coins reflect the ideals of the country during a time of great change, and they represent an important chapter in the history of U.S. coinage. The 1882 D half-dollar, as one of the last coins in the series, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors and investors who appreciate its connection to a pivotal moment in American history. Today, the value of an 1882 D half-dollar is largely determined by its condition, rarity, and demand in the marketplace. The price of these coins has been steadily rising in recent years as collectors continue to seek out high-quality examples. In particular, well-preserved coins in mint state and proof condition are the most valuable, with prices for such coins reaching as much as $125,000. This price reflects not only the rarity and desirability of the coin but also the ongoing appeal of the Liberty-seated design to collectors.